Now I love summer, but there is something so magical about that first hint of fall. The moment I see pumpkins and mums, I just want to start singing. It's the most wonderful. Don't worry, I will spare you my singing voice, but I do hope you'll join me in the kitchen as we welcome in this new season with some of my favorite cozy fall meals and treats. We're slowing down a little bit, enjoying more time inside as a family, and leaning on all the little comforts this season brings. And of course, can't welcome in fall without a little pumpkin spice creamer. This year I decided to make it at home, and honestly, I'm never going back. There are lots of ways to make it, but I keep it simple and healthy. Just lean on milk and cream, no sweetened condensed milk. Just simmer it with a little pumpkin puree, vanilla, cloves, nutmeg, and sweeten it to taste. That's it. I like to use maple syrup. You'll want to give it a good shake before using it, but it blends beautifully into coffee, even cold coffee. Creamy, smooth, and full of real flavor. And the best part, no artificial taste and no $6 Starbucks price tag. Tonight I'm making for dinner one of my favorite squash recipes. It's like a cheesy, wintry squash gratin or casserole. While I'm cutting up the squash, I heat some butter along with a lot of onion and garlic in the pan so that gets nice and golden brown. As soon as I see these available at the store, I start making. This is one of the first things I look forward to making in the fall. I think this is a bit too much squash, but that's okay. I'll double the rest of the ingredients and we'll have plenty for tomorrow. I already cooked some sweet, mild Italian sausage while having lunch, but that goes into the casserole with the onions. I also had kale. You can toss it in with the onions and let it cook in the pan together. I completely forgot and just sauteed it separately and added it. For seasoning, just a good amount of salt because there's a lot of vegetables in here which they need salt, and pepper. You can use thyme or oregano, or I have a bunch of sage still in the garden, so I'm going to use that as the herb. But I think sage goes the best. I think thyme goes the best. To bring it all together, add 1 cup of heavy cream and chicken stock. This is for a single casserole. If you're serving this as more of a side dish, feel free to use all cream for a richer, more indulgent flavor. It would be perfect on a Thanksgiving table. It goes on the bottom rack for about 25 minutes. While we adults love this dish, the boys were not a big fan of the squash. I think it's due to the texture. So the next day, because we had so much left, I blended about 1 cup of the squash. I took the skin off with about a half a cup of the sauce that's left over in the casserole. It resulted in a delicious creamy sauce to serve over pasta, and we all loved it. A total win, as it also made the meal stretch a little further too. With the casseroles in the oven, I got started on what might be my favorite fall treat. Browning butter really adds so much flavor and richness to any dessert, and it's pretty easy if you have the time. All you have to do is let it simmer over medium heat, stirring occasionally. First it'll foam up, then it'll start bubbling. That's when you want to stir it a little bit more frequently. You'll see the color shift to a light golden color. Take it off the heat and keep stirring until this beautiful amber tone appears. Don't toss away any of those golden bits either at the bottom. That's where all the flavor is. And I pop it into the fridge for about 15 minutes to cool until I can use it. You don't want to use it when it's really hot. While it cools, I just mix up the dry ingredients. I'm doing a double batch here so I can freeze some for later. I used half whole wheat flour, but you could absolutely go with all whole wheat flour. I don't think you would notice at all, and it would bring a little bit more nutrition to these. To that, I add baking soda, baking powder, salt, and pumpkin pie spice. For the wet ingredients, I mix together all that gorgeous brown butter, eggs, a splash of maple syrup, brown sugar, vanilla, and pumpkin puree. My son helped with the sugar, and I think we were a little light on it, but honestly, the kids didn't notice, and I feel a little bit better about them having more than one. Everything is combined and the wet goes into the dry. My son couldn't resist. He was in there with 2 fingers, not just one. He is the biggest butter fan, and I mean, I get it. These cookies are so good, real soft in the center. They puffed up nicely, full of real flavor too, and not just sweetness. They're cozy, satisfying, and honestly, might be my favorite cookie ever. It's early Saturday morning and starting a big batch of apple cider that I'll use across a few recipes. My little guy really wanted to give me the apple without me noticing, and let's just say he was determined. Honestly, the only way I really get anything done with young kids is to get them involved, let them play with the food, taste everything, and just keep the snacks kind of constantly flowing. If it looks calm and peaceful in these videos, just know it's not the full picture. Real life aside, the apple cider makes the house smell amazing all day long. I'll be making this all winter for just the scent. Every time I walk downstairs, I catch a big whiff and smile. It's super simple too, just toss in a bunch of apples, 2 oranges, make sure to peel the oranges or it'll turn out bitter. Fill the pot almost to the top with water, add a handful of cloves and a few cinnamon sticks, and turn it on high and let it simmer away for a few hours. With that cozy smell filling the house, I actually got to slow down a bit and enjoy some time with the kids, which is really what I love doing most on these slow weekends. And rainy days call for cozy indoor activities. While I love the aesthetic of all these pumpkins lined up outside, it does feel a little wasteful with them just sitting there. So this year I'm going to try to make use of them a little bit more before they rot. And this honestly turned out to be such a nice little activity with them. My youngest totally surprised me, and it kept my oldest entertained for a solid 30 minutes, which I don't get often. He even painted another one later that evening, and I couldn't resist joining in either. After a quick lunch of leftovers, back to that delicious cider that's been simmering away in the background. I really wish you could smell this. It's pure fall, and a candle just cannot match it. I just needed to smash up all the softened fruit in the pot and let it simmer away for another hour or so before straining and sweetening it. It's a bit of a process, but only a few minutes here and there after it gets going. With the kids happy and busy after lunch, I even managed to get ahead on dinner by chopping up a big butternut squash. I'm making my favorite orecchiette pasta. I'll get that right sometime, but making it a bit with a fall twist. And I still just cannot believe my son was snacking away at these raw squash. Kids are full of surprises. With dinner prepped, we had just enough time for a little after nap walk. We spotted the first Halloween decorations in the neighborhood and a few leaves starting to fall, so it's officially the most beautiful season here. Back just in time to make dinner. 1 pack of thick cut bacon goes on top or mixed in with the butternut squash. Now I know that's a lot of bacon, but this is a double recipe and it feeds us for about 3 meals. You toss that with a little olive oil, salt and pepper, and roast it for 30 minutes while preparing the other parts of the sauce. The base is really simple, just a chopped onion, sauteed in a mix of butter and olive oil. Some minced garlic is added at the end. Meanwhile, this little guy was getting hungry, so the pressure's on. You getting tired and hungry. No. You gonna eat a lot? Yeah. You hungry? At that exact moment, I needed to open a stubborn bottle of white wine to deglaze the pan, and my husband had just run out for a quick errand. I thought maybe a different kitchen towel would help, like magically different fabric would make me stronger. Yeah, it's ridiculous when I look back at some of this. Eventually came back and I got it open, and that deglazed the pan, and I let that simmer away till most of the alcohol is cooked out. Once it's reduced, I add about a cup of chicken stock and toss in some kale for that to steam a few minutes, and that's pretty much ready. by now, the squash and bacon are done roasting. That gets folded in with the sauce of onion and kale. Sprinkle some Parmesan on top, and I swear this pasta, which is already my favorite base, is just so much better with the butternut squash and bacon. I usually make it with sausage, but of course bacon took it to the next level. So rich, savory, and packed with fall flavor. You have to try this version. To wrap up the day, finally enjoying some of that apple cider for date night. I'm making the best hot toddy with it. The homemade cider gives it such a nice, deep spice flavor, and it paired so perfectly with those pumpkin cookies from yesterday. Cozy, comforting, and the perfect end to a slow and simple day. With plenty of leftovers to carry us through Sunday, I decided to make apple cider donut holes as a little treat for us this week. Thought that apple cider from yesterday would make these really, really good. I didn't have time to let dough rise and didn't feel like dealing with frying, so I went for a baked version. These ended up more like mini muffins, more dense, but so good, and everyone is a big fan. I'm looking forward to maybe trying the more traditional fried version next time when I'm feeling more up to it. But first, you just need to simmer down about 1.5 cups of apple cider to about 1/2 cup. It takes around 15 minutes for me at least, and I do that while letting the milk and egg come to room temperature. For the dry ingredients, I used half whole wheat instead of all purpose, and you could easily go for all whole wheat here too. Then baking soda, baking powder, some homemade apple pie spice. I just mixed cinnamon, nutmeg, and cardamom. Super simple and a great way to avoid buying expensive seasonal blends if you don't want to. I think next time I'll add a bit of ginger to it as well. The wet ingredients, just 1 egg, brown sugar, vanilla, and that cooled concentrated cider that gives this so much flavor. Kind of like the browned butter for the cookies, that's what really makes these. I think they lasted maybe just a few days in our house. Once mixed, just bake at 350 for about 10 minutes. My little guy woke up so excited to see a treat being made. He kept calling them muffins, which honestly they kind of became, but I kept trying to tell him they're not, but yeah, he was right. Maybe one more of those?
They're ready!
They're ready? He wanted to help, and while I was going to do the traditional Dunkin' butter, then sugar coating, I figured that would be a bit too messy, so instead we just made a quick glaze by combining everything into one and dunking the little muffins in. He had a blast helping, and the glaze really brought out a bit more of a donut feel. So I guess these turned into a kid-friendly, healthy-ish donut whole muffin hybrid. Delicious though. Well, that's it. Thanks for spending a bit of your day with us, and hope you're enjoying this new season too. If this brought a little comfort or inspiration, please like and subscribe to follow along for more. Take care.